So you guys know I travel for work on occasion. This particular week found me both in Chicago and in Austin. I still had the mindset that I wanted to train, and this particular day found me in Quad's gym in Chicago, which in my opinion is one of the most iconic gyms in the United States, so I definitely wanted to get in here. I gotta say, I wasn't overly impressed. It was a cool gym and a cool atmosphere, but as part of that, a lot of the equipment, and they had a lot of equipment there, just seemed to be really beat up and run down, and I think I'm a little spoiled of having training at home and paying for all the extra stuff that I do in the name brands. I just really like the comforts of my own home gym. Now that being said too, I mean, it was cool to get in there. It wasn't ideal training circumstances. I was really fatigued by this point. One of the things that I'm noticing here, and you can probably notice too, is my form for these sumo deadlifts is terrible. I'm really far over the bar. I think it's because I had a tight posterior chain from sitting in an airplane and traveling most of the day, but that's causing my hips to rise up early. Plus, as I mentioned in my last weekly recap, just going in and trying to progress faster than I should be on this movement really kind of just threw me for a loop here. So in the weeks prior, and it's been about 2 weeks since you're watching this, I've gone back in and readjusted, and I think things are feeling better, and you'll start to see that next week. So I did a couple sets of those sumo pulls. Again, took a lot out of me, went in and did some incline bench as well, and you can even see here, my knees are starting to cave in, even on my incline bench, so this was really a telling sign. But just wanted to come in and get some of this work in. From there, I also moved on to some safety bar squats, which I posted a picture on Instagram. This bar was not necessarily safe. The padding on this was extremely beat up. It didn't have the handles like it was supposed to. It was duct taped to hell, and I ended up getting this all over my hand. So I had a really hard time finding a good position. But I am happy that I got in and was able to train, especially, again, being at this gym, which I do think is an iconic gym, as I already mentioned. I probably wouldn't go back here personally, but it was cool to go in and see the atmosphere. I also did some other stuff like some reverse hypers, which I never do, but I don't see that often, nor do I have that piece of equipment. So that's one of the luxuries of traveling and training and trying to get in some stuff you normally wouldn't. But I also forgot my belt in Chicago, and luckily enough, Zach Kravitz, who lives locally, was able to grab it and send it back to me. Now, initially when I left, I had envisioned that I'd be able to get all 4 training days in, and I knew that would mean I'd have to get up at 5 a.m. in some cases and train, and that just didn't really happen. I was way more fatigued than I thought. That first couple of sets in Chicago you saw were on a Sunday night. What you're seeing right now is Thursday after work, and I'm on a 4-day training split, so only being able to do 2 training days out of the week, not to mention not having my belt and feeling very fatigued, I just kind of wrote off this week as a wash. So all I did was some squat, bench, and deadlift within my means that I could handle, so nothing overly heavy, but stuff that was going to be somewhat taxing as is. And the plan was to come home and redo the work week over and just adjust volume and intensity accordingly. And that's one of the great things about the program, that you can easily do that. And I'll show you guys in one of the updates that I do. But I have since been home for more than a week now, got another week of training in. I feel a lot better. I feel like I've recouped almost sort of a mini deload week. And I'm looking forward to pushing some numbers this week, which you guys will eventually see if I ever get my timeline straight. So as always, thanks for watching. And in the meantime, stay big.